Hey everyone. Tonight's another special episode of October Country where I'm going to try and take a step back to talk about the roots of this thing we call Halloween for your entertainment and edification. Halloween is a contraction of All Hallows Eve, otherwise known as All Saints' Eve, being the evening before the November 1st celebration of All Saints' Day. These days are all lumped together in the Christian liturgical calendar as All Hallowtide, and it's a time when people pay tribute to saints, martyrs, and the departed. Now, previously on this day of the year, Gaelic culture celebrated a holiday called Samhain in the northern parts of Britannia, like Ireland and Scotland, and Calan Gaef in southern England and Wales. And these holidays celebrated the end of the harvest season and the beginning of the dark months of winter. And it's generally accepted that these celebrations, along with many other pagan holidays, were sort of co-opted by the church and rechristened, as it were, sometime around the 8th century, as a way to make the Celtic conversion from paganism to Christianity more palatable. In some parts of the world, All Hallows Eve is still celebrated by lighting candles on the graves of deceased relatives, holding vigil, and either fasting or avoiding meat. But in our part of the world, it's celebrated by spooky decorations, costumes, candy, pumpkins, and trick-or-treating. Bonfires, which were once used to help guide the spirits of the dead towards heaven, are now flickering candles inside hollowed-out pumpkins, which, by the way, is another thing we inherited from the Celts, although they used to use turnips, which are apparently much harder to carve. Dressing up in Halloween costumes is something else we inherited, as what was called guising or mumming was a common way of celebrating holidays in early Britain, when people would go house to house reciting verses and singing in exchange for food and drink. This was actually often done around Christmas and New Year's as well, and that's where the Welsh tradition of the Merry Lloyd comes in. And I'm just going to have to do a podcast just on the Merry Lloyd someday, because that's just incredible. Some people who don't like Halloween, or I guess see it as kind of evil, which is their right, of course, object to a lot of the dark and ghoulish imagery that comes with it, seeing it as something demonic or evil. But with due respect, I think those people might not fully understand that human culture, and specifically Christian culture, has for millennia used frightening images as a way to ward off evil. For instance, the gargoyles of Notre Dame. Additionally, the concept of memento mori dates back to early Roman Christians. It was a way of using the imagery of death as a way to remind ourselves of the preciousness of life. And that's really the way this time of year resonates with people, no matter what era they lived in or how they worshipped. There's something about the end of summer and the beginning of fall that has a visceral effect on people. It reminds us that life is all about transition, warm to cold, light to dark, youth to age, life to death. And where those actual barriers between the states exist are often very hard to pinpoint. Thank you for listening tonight. My name is Jim Towns. This is October Country, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Have a pleasant evening.